Actually recording this?
Yes.
Yeah, like right now.
Damn,
we
that's
currently-
crazy.
This is
recording?
episode 1
Negative
squared.
one. Oh, okay.
No, 1 squared.
1 squared, okay.
1 squared of this podcast.
1
which
factorial.
I think we're going to call physical education, but you can call me Jim.
Yes.
That's what we're
Yes.
calling it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Carson, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, my name is Carson Ogden, and this is a podcast.
This is a podcast starting today. It's I don't know what it is other than a podcast.
I
There's
have a
no
question.
direction we have.
If you took the square root of this podcast, what would you get?
You'd get
Chaos.
1.
Oh,
Well, positive or negative 1, I guess.
one of
It's
the
up for
other.
debate.
Well, only if you're doing positive or negative square root, because there is a difference.
Is there?
I don't think there is. Maybe I'm just wrong here, but
Can't
I don't
you not
think
have the
there
negative
is.
square root of something?
Well, I mean, when you find the square root of something like, let's say 4, you can get positive or negative
You can't
1.
find the square root of a negative number.
Well, you can, but it's imaginary, so
That's
it's not
right.
really real like
Mathematicians
other
inventing
numbers.
imaginary
What made the
numbers
root
instead of
square in the
admitting
first
they're wrong.
place?
It's not a circle.
Well,
Fair enough.
all numbers are kind of square because you can take the square root of anything or
Okay,
square
but
anything.
like, think about 0. 0 is
Except-
completely round.
I don't know, man.
0 doesn't have to be
It's kind
round.
of not because it's a square root in and of itself. Because
Think
if you
of it.
multiply 0 by itself, you just get 0 again.
Well, 0's not even a number.
It's the lack of numbers,
It's the
really.
lack of-
You think
number.
there's like a
No,
perfect
no
world out
is the
there?
lack of number.
think-
And also undefined is the lack of number.
You think there's
Undefined
like
is
a
the
perfect
lack of
world out there
mathematical
where
principle.
0 is a
No.
square?
Hold on. Undefined is the lack of mathematical principle, not the lack of a number.
Undefined is the lack of us knowing what happens.
Yes.
It's a value assigned to the nothing.
Why can't we just use like, I don't know, a substance to figure out what undefined is?
That's what numbers are. We just haven't discovered them yet.
No, like a real life substance that isn't just us saying numbers.
Chocolate milk.
Okay, let's say
Yeah,
you
like
have
chocolate
5 cookies and 0 friends. You have every number of friends you have an equal number of cookies. See the problem?
I see where this is going.
So
You have 0
just
cookies
run
and
out
you'd
of
like to share
cookies?
them with 5 friends. What do you do now? Steal cookies.
That's easy. No one gets any cookies.
No, you just steal cookies.
That defeats the problem, though.
Hey,
You're
yeah, I
adding
mean,
cookies to the
isn't the
problem.
point of a
cookies for
problem to
myself,
get rid
you
of
know?
it.
What?
Yeah.
More cookies for myself.
Honestly, why does math have so many problems?
Honestly,
Yeah.
why do we have to share? It just only creates more math problems.
This is how
Just
capitalism was
eat all
started.
5 cookies.
Exactly.
Problem solved.
Finally.
It's their fault they don't have any cookies. They should have been smart enough to get cookies. Why should you have to
Well,
take
it's
the
your fault
responsibility of
because you
giving
have
them
0
cookies?
friends, but 5 cookies.
Why should we suffer
Cookies
for
are
their
more important than
sloppiness, you know?
friends.
What?
Why should we suffer for the friend's sloppiness?
Why should we, who worked hard to get the cookies, suffer for those who don't have the cookies as a result of their laziness?
This is why communism is better.
No, this is why capitalism is better.
You're right.
Politics.
Yes,
If only politics were that easy.
Why can't they be? Honestly,
Well,
I think we
because
need more
some
toddlers
people
working
are
for
really
government.
stubborn.
Listen, man, there are 2 types of people in this world. Communism good and capitalism good. And that's it. There are no other types of people.
We need more toddlers running for positions of power.
Yeah, everyone's either way too old. No, there's no either. They're just way too old. we need like actual newborns.
Yes.
You know?
Or like, I don't know, just people that are middle-aged even.
No, too old.
Too old.
Is that no one Franklin's Wild
We,
Beach reference?
no, I think we should make it worse. I think we should only elect people above 90 or below 10.
You know
and
what?
that's
I
it.
think we should even like skip the whole human part
What?
just to elect dogs.
My guest star needs to be gone. Adios.
Oh, there goes
Well,
our guest
there goes
star,
Will.
William,
There
who
goes our
was
guest
never
star.
named.
Who might appear
Also,
here
this is David, and
Oh,
my
yes, I'm
name's
David.
Shawn.
I
We
think
never
too much,
introduced
or not at all.
ourselves. I'm personally a what's the word? Something. I definitely overthink things.
Yes.
It makes things way more interesting.
Why sleep when you can solve impossible problems?
Absolutely. Or rather, why sleep when you can try to solve impossible problems?
Speaking of solving an impossible problem, let's talk about the man who really started all of this, Cigar Man.
Exponential
Cigar
cigar,
Man.
which we were
Okay.
talking about earlier.
We need to explain who Cigar Man is.
Okay, so
he's
imagine a fictional man, like an average human, possibly even slightly above average, but he smokes a cigar, right? And every minute, he doubles the amount of cigars that he's smoking. And he never takes a cigar out of his mouth. So, What happens? He puts one cigar in his mouth, then after a minute, 2 cigars, then after another minute, 4 cigars, so on and so forth. So the question is, when will this man definitively pass away?
I say 4 cigars, you just die of asphyxiation.
Well, you can definitely
You can still breathe
breathe through your nose.
Sorry,
Yeah,
not
you
four,
can breathe
not 4
around
cigars,
the
4
cigars.
cycles of the cigars.
4 cycles.
So 32
Okay,
cigars.
so 1
Right,
times
no.
2 to the power of 4.
Uh,
That would be 16 cigars would kill him.
16, yes.
I feel like the best possible human for this problem would be able to handle
Joe Rogan.
32 cigars.
Joe Rogan.
And but I do feel like every human would definitively die by the time they're done with 64 cigars.
I don't know. I feel like Arnold
There's no way anyone could survive 32.
could definitely do a solid 70.
There does come a point where asphyxiation doesn't even matter. Like you're just
Eventually,
your
you'll
jaw
be
can't
crushed by
handle
the
that
weight.
amount of cigars.
I mean, do the cigars keep multiplying past when the
He
man
keeps
is already
putting
dead?
them in his mouth.
I mean,
So wait, does he
Like,
already
it's a
hypothetically-
choice he's making.
So do they
hypothetically,
appear?
yeah. So this would cause the end of the world eventually because
Yes.
it will just drown in cigars.
I think that in less
There's
than,
like another planet, but it's just only
in
cigars.
less than an hour, everyone is dead.
Yeah, and like
Yeah, because it'd be 1 times 2 to the power of 60,
Plus,
which
these
would
are
be
all
like
on fire,
way too many
right?
cigars.
Way too
yeah.
many cigars.
Now
That'd be
think
like
about
that'd
this.
have to cause a fire
How would
somewhere.
all of these cigars contribute to global warming?
They'd make it way worse.
well, to
And,
be fair,
like,
nothing really would matter because within the span of like I don't know
A day. One day.
one day, Earth would
There would be a new Earth. We'd have
one
another
year.
moon, and it'd be cigars.
It would just
because
all
of
be cigars.
exponentiality. 1 year would mean like I don't know.
We'd
the
have a
entire
new universe.
Yeah, the entire
Cigar
universe would just be-
universe.
Technically, the weight of the cigars, wouldn't they just collapse in on themselves, creating
Just make a black hole.
No, it would.
Technically, what are
it-
cigars made out of? They're made out of paper and plant material, so it's all carbon, right?
Yeah, it would just turn the entire universe into one large cigar-powered
Okay,
black hole.
after
6 months turns the entire of the universe into a new universe due to the amount of carbon in the cigars.
Okay, after we have one cigar universe, right? Every minute after that, we have another cigar universe, creating
true.
another infinite amount of cigar
Wait,
universes.
so because
Now that I'm thinking
if
about
the
this,
cigars turn into a black hole, since you're multiplying whatever you have, does the black hole duplicate, or is it just the
no,
number
we
of
just get a whole
cigars?
bunch more cigars
get a whole
that
bunch
make
more
another
cigars.
black hole.
okay, so you know
okay.
about the theory about there being multiple like universes of
Yeah.
universe? I think this starts from the cigar problem.
The cigar problem started
It's not
it
a
all.
cigar
Yes.
problem. It's the Cigar Man.
The Cigar Man issue.
The Cigar Man dilemma.
Yes. And this man is now buried in so many cigars that not only is his body crushed, but the atoms that are part of his body are crushed.
The atoms that were once Cigar Man are now scattered across the universe.
Yes. Yeah. I
If
guess
you can
when they
even
get
call
ripped
it the
apart-
universe anymore. Now it's just cigars.
I feel like the
Yeah.
weight of the cigars would collapse inward, creating new like stars, basically.
How would we get stars? Like, we'd have to
Neutron
have...
star.
How would we get a
cigar,
neutron...
neutron
Do you know what a star
Neutron
is?
cigar!
Cigar. Guys, let's smoke some neutron cigars. Give me 6 months and too many cigars.
That sounds like something that would instantly kill you in Star Wars.
You guys want to buy
It
some
sounds
neutron
like
cigars? Your
a
brain will
brand
melt.
of cigars from the future.
Welcome to the
that
year
just makes your brain
2064. We have neutron
instantaneously
cigars. It
implode.
will kill you.
That sounds like if vaping had a cigar kind of thing.
Honestly, cigars are so much cooler than vaping.
I
Honestly,
mean,
yeah.
if clearly Cigar Man thinks so.
Like imagine like
Yeah.
imagine like just taking a hit of a cigar just out in the middle of public. Like who's gonna stop you?
It's like, okay, so there's a contradiction here. So Cigar Man's the one putting the cigars in his mouth, right?
Yes.
So after he's eventually killed by his own hand, who puts the cigars in
God.
his mouth?
God. Yeah.
God himself?
God
Yes,
himself.
God himself.
And he's
sits
also the
down
one
every
giving the
minute.
cigars.
God
I'm
in the
guessing.
flesh will be contributing the cigars.
Okay, so God
This
is
man
Cigar
has
Man's
committed great
sponsor.
sins and he is forced to
It
pay
doesn't
for
need
them.
to be like there are already so many cigars we can't like actually reach in to put more cigars in. If we can like reach through the fourth dimension,
Oh,
right?
okay, that's not
to
that
put
hard.
cigars in his mouth.
This is
So,
like some
quick
sort
question
of like cosmic
then.
punishment because he stole a box of cigars. It's like, oh, you're gonna steal cigars, well now you will never be without them.
And also the entirety of humanity and the entire universe will be destroyed.
Yes.
Due to your actions
One
of stealing
bad apple
cigars.
spoils the whole class.
So,
Oh, there goes your universe.
question
Oopsie
then.
daisies.
Wouldn't these cigars eventually kill God?
No.
No,
Like, he
because
just,
he
like-
exists within. Because the cigars, no matter how many of them there are, they can only take up three-dimensional
God
space.
is the cigar.
That's true. God
This-
can just escape to the fourth
This
dimension.
hypothetical god can just like he can do
He
it.
can literally just like walk away to the fourth dimension.
Yeah, or fifth, or sixth, or like
The
he's still got
infinitieth
infinite
dimension.
amounts of dimensions.
So how much weight can the universe handle? Because like after a while, do you think it'll basically begin to lag under the weight of all the cigars?
Well, I mean, if we were to assume it was a computer simulation, yeah, we'd just crash the computer eventually.
Well, here's the thing: the universe is always expanding, right? Do you think it's
Maybe.
expanding faster than the cigars will? I think that's possible.
The cigars will
Unless-
accelerate.
unless-
It will become an exponential expansion.
I was gonna
Holy
say,
cow.
unless the expansion of the universe itself is exponential at a rate faster than the cigars will eventually outpace the expansion of the universe.
Okay, if we assume that the universe is
Well, the universe-
expanding, then that means it has a limit that the cigars can't escape,
Well, no.
and therefore we have to put cigars outside the universe.
Well, no, it's not that the universe is expanding. There's not like a wall that is slowly growing. It's just the stuff that's in the universe is expanding. There's
So,
infinite space out there. It's
You're
just
saying we
nothing in it.
exist in a
right?
static universe then? One with infinite temporal and spatial extensions in every
well,
direction.
maybe
Do
not
the
temporal,
celestial
but
bodies
spatial,
of the
yes.
universe get absorbed by the cigars, or do they get moved by the
Wait,
cigars?
since
Well, since they're a black hole now.
Oh,
yeah.
that's true.
okay, since time has slowed down near massive objects, wouldn't that make time like just stop eventually?
So here's
And then
the
we
thing.
just wait. That means the cigars would stop
Well, time
growing.
is relative, though. Time is only relative
Yes,
to the place
but if
you're
a
at
minute,
currently.
if like a minute becomes so slow around the cigars because they're so massive
This is what I
that
was about to
another
say.
minute never
the
passes.
gravity of the
Oh.
cigars in the center of the universe. Well, so Earth now becomes the center of the universe, right? Due to the massive gravitational pull of the cigars, which means that every celestial body in the universe now rotates around the cigars. Basically, we've created the entire universe into one large solar system, the star being the cigars.
But actually, yeah,
Galaxies
that is a
being the
good point.
planets.
Since the cigars will be so massive,
They'll
and
slow
the
down
original
time.
material of what was this man is like.
So he is now
It's so
actually
slowed
God
down
himself.
that it will actually be exponentially slower that the cigars appear. So maybe it won't absorb the universe.
So here's what I'm thinking: the man and God
Right?
are the same person.
Yeah,
I mean, it will eventually. It'll just take
and
a
given an
really
infinite
long
amount
time.
of time,
Yes.
yes, it will, but it will take longer than anything we have known yet to come.
Yes, it even takes longer
would take
than
a-
that one Minecraft redstone clock that supposedly takes a really long time.
I don't know.
I'm
though.
not buying it.
You know how powerful exponential math is? I feel like after like a decade, we have like enough cigars to cover the universe.
That's the thing, though. After a little while, it starts to really slow down time itself. Because, like,
Yeah.
time space is bending around this massive cigar ball.
Yes, but it's literally doubling every single minute.
But minutes become really slow because it's the ball is so
I think
massive.
the minutes are relative to another like outside being. It's like when you time
Okay.
something with like a clock or something. It's not based off the time of the object, but on the time with the time of the clock, right?
Okay.
So for a human in the center of the cigars, 1 minute is extremely long, but to the outside looking in, aka this cigar god that we've created, 1 minute is 1 minute.
Cigar God. He knows no
Okay.
mercy.
He knows no gravity.
Also, he exists outside the three dimensions of space and time.
Yeah. We have some new guests on our podcast now.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
actually recording a podcast.
This is so cool.
Incredible.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's the story of Cigar Man?
Yes, I don't
A
think
man doomed to destroy the
we've
universe?
definitely talked about it destroying Earth, but I don't think we've ever brought it to the fact that the cigars will eventually become the gravitational center of the universe.
It might, like, just actually destroy space and time.
Yeah, who knows? There definitely won't be anything living to be able to experience.
Eventually, space or time will become so relatively short that it will just stop and there will only be, like, the cigars will become infinitely fast because they're no longer afflicted by time.
So that you're saying is that it'll just. So if there's no time between the exponential multiplication of the cigars, it just everything there ever is and ever will be instantly becomes cigars. At the
That's a
snap
good
of finger.
point. Like,
Because then how do you define that? Because if space is infinite, then all of a sudden everything it's like a Minecraft world generation, except you replace every single block with cigar.
yes, every single cubic foot that will ever exist in the universe will
It's just a
instantly
solid
be covered
block
by
of
cigars.
cigar. So you're saying that the farther you go, the more cigars there are.
No, not necessarily. There will always be. You can only pack so many cigars into 1 cubic foot.
Well, yes, but how many though? Because
That question's neither here nor
technically,
there.
can't you keep pushing them until the point of some sort of like nuclear science or something, like either like nuclear?
That's true. What would go
fission
on at
or
the middle of
a
the
black
cigar
hole.
ball?
I'm thinking black hole, but there also could be just millions of nuclear bombs basically going off at a time, which would in turn destroy the cigars, leaving nothing but dust.
Okay. There's one thing that we haven't really addressed, and that's the fact that we're creating something from nothing,
That's true.
which just
impossible.
breaks the laws of physics. But then again, virtual particles,
So what if we're taking these cigars from another universe that already has all the cigars?
then we'd run out of cigars really fast.
What do you mean?
If we keep taking cigars out of other universes, then we're going to run out of cigars to
Not if
take.
there's an infinite universe, or infinite universes. There's a universe out there with an infinite amount of cigars.
That's true.
There is a universe out there where this mathematical problem doesn't even matter because, like, the laws of how matter works is not real.
That's true. Or like we could just keep taking cigars from that universe. Well, like we have one here and we have one in the other universe. They're just in superposition.
Or maybe like you just wait, like Andrew Tate in some other universe opens up a box of his favorite cigars and it's just empty because
It's just like a bottomless cigar package.
bottomless cigar package.
Sorry guys, I didn't leave. I've just been really quiet for a really long time.
Whoopsies! I
Yeah.
spilled the bottomless cigar package. Humanity is over
No, just like cigars keep
with.
falling
I don't know.
out forever.
Maybe that's how the problem starts. Maybe he's not smoking them. Maybe he drops them.
Maybe he drops them and breaks the universe. And then they start exponentially growing.
Guys, I accidentally spilled my infinite bottle of water.
The Great Flood Part 2.
Yeah, if you take like something like say in D&D, like you have like a jug that has infinite water in it. If you just turn it upside down, it could end the universe.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, pretty easily, I'd say.
Does it pour out the rate of normal water, or does the amount of pressure from the supposedly infinite water like basically shoot a hole through the earth?
Wouldn't that
Oh yeah,
make-
just by it existing. The
wouldn't
pressure
wouldn't
would
it
make
be so incredibly dense it'd just make a black hole?
Yes.
Like, immediately?
So now that I'm
Well-
thinking that it's basically like a
Yeah.
Minecraft. Second time we're using Minecraft. Oh, podcast is over.
Podcast is over. See you next time.
Goodbye,
guys.
everyone.